Monster end up taking?
I still deciding. He took Werebear, which I like a lot better than Wake Dancer.
Well, he's such a green-red type.
Oh, did he just value pick Divining Top?
Divining Top's not very good.
No, Divining Top's not a good card in Limited at all.
People think that it's good, but like you need... Like, if you ever watch LSV draft Vintage Cube, he's like, it sucks unless you have 4 or 5 sack lands.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure if he took it, it was just because it's a $20 card or whatever it is. Yeah. So, I like Sting Scourger is decent. Mana War is much better, though.
I take Mana War, yeah, over Sting Scourger.
Yeah.
This pack's not very powerful. Phyrexian Ingester is really good, actually. I think I'd take Ingester over... Mana War.
Yeah, I think that's true. I think Ingester is better in slower control decks.
Right.
Mana War is maybe the little bit more of the even keel that I can go in a lot of decks.
Right.
Kind of a thing. He's looking at Werebear again. I like Mana War more than Werebear.
I agree.
I think Mana War is great. It's just really hard to beat that kind of a card. Yeah, I would definitely take Mana War over Werebear. But the one nice thing about EMA is that it is a set that is more... you really can take, I think, cards that you like. Like, if you like particular archetypes more, I think you can take certain cards over other cards. And another important thing is just waiting to see kind of what's being passed to you.
Yeah, you just take the best card out of the first 4 or 5 packs, and then you figure out what colors you're going to go.
So Wake of Vultures, Carrion Feeder. There was an Annihilate. Tragic Slip.
So that's a pretty strong black sign, getting a Tragic Slip and Annihilate in the same pack.
Yeah. See, if
it looks like Spencer's picked up on it. Annihilate's clearly better than Tragic Slip, in my opinion.
I agree. I like Annihilate a lot. It's just really plain, simple, very good removal 2-for-1 spell. Yeah, quite a few black cards in that pack. I mean, Carrion Feeder is only good in the Sacrifice deck.
Oh, it could be Abundant Growth.
I know when I talked to him a little bit before, he said he really likes green-white enchantments because he doesn't think a lot of people draft them. But
it's because the deck's not good because you have Sting Scourger and Mana War and
that was
a whole bunch of other stuff.
So I would have taken Annihilate there, I think.
Yeah.
But I can see where he's going. He's looking to set up maybe a green-white enchantment deck.
Right. He's just going to try and force his way into it.
Yeah, I mean, if we had taken Ingester into Annihilate...
you're setting up for the black blue control
deck, which can be very good.
You also have to think that, like... I'm assuming a lot of these players didn't draft EMA a whole lot.
That's fair. We drafted it a lot.
Yeah, I mean, but we're limited people, right? Like we like limited. Oh, there's talk about ancient history. There is Wildfire Emissary. Was that a Hymn to Torok?
Yep.
Oh my.
So how good do you actually think Hymn to Torok is in limited?
And there's Aurora the Worm. Hymn to Torok's very good. Just in general, like if you play it on turn 2, you can win the game.
You can.
Posing people.
Sometimes I feel like it's a little overrated, though, right?
That's fair enough.
I mean, like, sometimes it just...
what did he take?
I think he took Thornweld Archer.
I don't know.
Sometimes I do think him is slightly overrated, because sometimes it is just a Mind Rot, right?
Right.
And I mean...
Which is fine. Like, Mind Rot's an okay card.
Mind Rot's okay. I'm not saying it's bad, but I'm just saying sometimes... I feel like people treat Hymn to Torok like they do... I don't know... much more powerful cards.
Like a Mind Twist?
Yeah.
People think it's like Mind Twist?
Yeah. Which I don't think is exactly fair.
So I think you would have taken it in that pack, though, had you gone...
Oh, Annihilate? Yeah, sure. If I took Annihilate, I would
Annihilate
take him.
Into the Ingester and Annihilate into
Hymn to Torok. Yeah. The only thing that sucks about Hymn to Torok with blue-black in this format is you want counter spells in your blue-black control deck, right? So you want a cheap double blue spell, and you want a cheap double black spell.
Yeah, that's
which,
hard.
Makes your mana worse. It means you have to take Dismal Backwaters really high.
Right. So he's definitely forcing Enchantress. The problem that I don't like with forcing something
is if you
don't have anything. Like, you force something if you open a broken rare in that archetype.
or if you know it's going to be underdrafted, or if you think the only way you can win the draft is by forcing something. So, like, for example, let's say I sat down at a table with, I don't know, William Jensen, Owen Turnwald, John Finkel, right? Like, if I sit down at a table like that, then I may force something.
Sticking a spider here.
No spider. So he's just sticking to green. Like, I would force something if I don't think I have a good shot of winning.
Yeah, like if you want to force like
skill.
an aggressive deck.
Yeah, exactly. I also like forcing if I'm like almost positive the archetype will be underdrafted, right? I did that in a PTQ that I won where I was positive blue would be overdrafted, so I just wanted to stay away from blue. I guess it's not forcing, it's just avoiding a color, which is a little bit different. But yeah, in EMA I like taking what you get past because all the cards are so powerful.
Right, all the cards are playable.
Yeah.
So getting enough playables isn't going to be an issue. You just want to take the most power.
Yeah.
So here we have an Enchantress card with the Idealist, or is that the...
It's the... it destroys an enchantment, so it's an anti-enchantment card.
It's like he's going to take an Elephant Guide. Wasn't sure what else was in that pack.
I mean, he's basically hoping to pick up some payoff cards, right? He wants lots of Yavimaya Enchantresses.
Right, which he hasn't seen any yet. Which is
Right.
kind of scary. It's a common.
The other problem with forcing 2 in Limited is if someone to your right is taking your cards, right, even 2 or 3 seats down, you're in a lot of trouble.
Right.
And Wildfire, Plague Witch, Tragic Slip is still in that pack. What was the blue card? Couldn't quite see the blue card. Dream Twist, okay. I think I would take Tragic Slip here.
Was that...
Humble.
Yeah, I mean, he's shipped on black at this point, right? Like,
He's just given up on it.
like
Well,
I don't think he's even seen the black cards.
But whoever's to his left, if they've taken the black cards, I think
Their deck's probably pretty good. I'm going to go take a look here in a minute when we get to the last few picks, and we'll see what the person to his left has taken.
Yeah.
Is that a Worn Power Stone?
That was the pack he opened because it had Worn Power Stone in it. And I
and a Black Honden.
I like the Black Honden too.
Black is freaking like Wake Dancer's good. I mean, Worn Power Stone's good though too.
Yeah, I love Worn Power Stone.
Like, this sheet should have a crazy black-blue control deck right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they're going to take Worn Power Stone, which if you took Ingester and Annihilate, Worn Power Stone's great with those cards.
Looks like Spencer's morphing into a
red-green
beatdown
beatdown deck.
I'm going to go take a peek at his the person to his left's draft real quick,
Okay.
and I will be back momentarily.
Yeah, it looks like he's shifting into red-green beatdown. Hasn't seen any Card Apes yet, but might be able to pick up a few in the next 2 packs. Card Ape is definitely, I think, the biggest draw to the red-green deck. The fact that you have a 2/3, for 1 mana at common is very powerful in any sort of aggressive deck, especially in Limited, where it just takes people more time to set up their defenses. Looks like he's going to take Wake of Vultures here over the Seismic Stop, which would likely be a sideboard card. There's also a Dismal Backwater.
So the draft is quite interesting. So there's Skylar's to Spencer's left, and then Brad is the next seat over, and Brad's basically mono black. Skylar is Teamer, and Spencer is red-green, which is, I guess it's okay, but like Brad Maxwell's deck is insane. He took the Annihilate, he took the Hymn, he opened up a Deathrite Shaman, which isn't good. I mean, it's okay. But he's basically mono black.
It's worse in black, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because in green you can gain life and
it's good in a black-green deck.
All right, so Spencer has. Well, we can't really see much. But.
Yeah, so he did take a Dividing Top. Has a Sentinel Spider, Werebear, Sting Scourger, Mog War Marshal.
So he's going to get cut pretty hard on this next.
Yeah,
pack.
the next pack.
He does have the option to go 5 color share because he has the Abundant Growths.
Yeah, I don't know if he'll do that. I'm wondering if he's just gambling on getting Card Apes in these next 2 packs.
Yeah.
is maybe what he's doing. He's not going to get any premium removal spells from the left, right? He's not going to get any incinerates in this set, right? No.
I don't believe so.
There's a good removal spell, though, right? I just can't remember what it is in red.
All right, so Spencer has opened another Wake Dancer, Shelter.
Night's Whisper, Undying Rage, Sylvan Might, Land of Wilds. Land of Wilds is great. Factor Fiction. Blood Artists. Quite a few powerful cards in this
Burning
pack, actually.
Vengeance as well.
Yeah, there's a Burning Vengeance, a Factor Fiction. He's going to just take the Land of Wilds. He's just sticking to red-green at this point.
Right.
Because, like you were saying, if he's going to go 5 colors, you would take Factor Fiction pretty easily.
Right.
But Land of Wilds is really good in red-green.
Yeah, definitely. The only problem is his red-green deck is not looking very well either at this point.
His first pack, I agree, his red-green picks were not very good at all. There's a Sting Scourger, he's got a Pacifism, Face Fetter, then a Bizarra. Yeah, if he was in black, he would have been set up.
And again, Skylar is in Spencer's colors.
Yeah, the only thing I think he can really get from Skylar at this point
is that an Enchantress as well?
Yeah, so I think he's going to go for the Enchantress.
If you go for Enchantress, why don't you take... Isn't Faith Fetters better than Enchantress here?
He might be thinking he might not get the Enchantress back, right? Which, if you want to be in the Enchantress deck, you would rather have Enchantresses than cards like Face Fetters. Ideally, you could just take the Face Fetter and wheel the Enchantress, but it's not guaranteed that will happen. I mean, like I said, I think when he was red-green, even though Skylar's Teamer, he could end up getting...
Sulfuric Vortex is very beat down.
Yeah.
There's a Werebear, Wildfire
Firebolt. There's a Firebolt, too.
Yeah. Firebolt. Gitu Slinger.
Firebolt better than Gitu Slinger, though.
That's interesting. I mean, and he takes the Werebear.
I would have taken Firebolt.
Yeah. Well, and it makes me wonder what Skylar took, because Skylar's also in red.
In red, yeah.
And there's 2 premium red cards in that pack.
So, let's say, yeah, so I think Skylar would definitely be passing Curt Apes, I'm assuming. But obviously, he hasn't gotten any. Well, there's an Enchantress and an Land of Wilds. So I think he's going for it, I guess, at this point.
Yeah. What card did he just flip to us?
Seal of Strength, so he's hoping to wheel it.
Oh, okay. I mean, Enchantress is really powerful. It's just, I mean, you get wrecked by so many cards. At common, there's Silent Departure, there's Sting Scourger, there's Mana Wars. Yeah. It's just not a color combo that I want to be forcing.
Yeah. Zealous Persecution and Abundant Growth. Dragon Egg. I mean, it's shaping up a little bit more in this pack, right? So he's basically just moving off of red and staying with green.
Right. And what I'll do after this is I will go... Oh, that's a Juggernaut. Juggernaut's always good. I don't know why he's still in this pack.
You go with Land of Wilds.
I guess Juggernaut's better in just like the red-green beatdown decks, right?
Yeah, it's probably not great like in the Enchantress decks. Certainly, like, I don't think Brad's deck would want a Juggernaut. I'm assuming if he's a slow black control deck. So we have a Faithless Looting.
You got another Enchantress. Maybe Enchantress was just open and
just
he
doesn't get any
cards.
Pack one. I mean, that's...
Because that's a pretty late Enchantress.
It is. But I mean, that's also a gamble you take with an archetype like this, right? Is what if none of these cards have been opened?
Mm-hmm.
Which is a possibility. He did end up managing to get 2. So he's looking at Calciderm, Centaur.
That's like the overrun guy, right? They get +1/+1 and trample.
Yeah, Calciderm's not great in the Enchantress deck because you can't enchant it. It's just a 5/5 beater, basically.
Blastoderm, right? It has Shroud instead of Hexproof.
It's probably still not bad in his deck.
Kind of like the overrun guy better, though, right?
He's not going to have a lot of creatures, though, right? He's maybe going to have like 13, 14 creatures. He's not making tokens or anything like that.
What was that there?
Squadron Hawk, I believe, which he
Okay.
doesn't have any of, but you might be able to pick up 2 or 3 in the next pack.
Yeah.
I remember Squadron Hawks being a card that wasn't taken at all in the early drafts, and then as the format developed, people started taking Squadron Hawks more.
Right, because it's still a powerful card. Second thoughts here. It's an okay removal spell.
Is there a Blossoming Sands, though? I can't see what the land was. I'm assuming it wasn't, but if there was, I would definitely have taken Blossoming Sands over it.
Right. That Vortex is still in the pack. Whoever's red-green should have taken that. I'm going to go take a look at Spencer's picks to his right
Okay.
and see what those people are in as well.
All right, we're basically in the dregs of the draft at this point. Hoping to pick up maybe like a Seal of Cleansing or something. Doesn't happen. Shelter's actually not a bad last pick, I think. It potentially allows him to have some protection for his enchantresses.
Sean Meyer is white-red to Spencer's right. Then there's another black drafter on the other side of that. So it does look like Enchantress is open that side.
He just needs the cards, basically, at this
Right.
point. He did get a last pick Shelter, which I actually like a lot.
Shelter's
for his deck.
yeah, because you need that to prevent a Mana War or
Yep.
something like that from happening.
He's pointing to Calcidome and Squadron Hawk.
And say no.
I'm not sure what he's
So
saying.
what does Spencer want opening? Or he wants to open, what's the best Enchantress card that you can open? Just another Enchantress?
Armadillo Cloak?
Cloak, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it opens you up for a 2-for-1, but it is the best, suit 'em up kind of card.
Maybe the green Enchantress?
The Argothian Enchantress.
Yeah.
She's a mythic, right?
It looks like he has a Squadron Hawk.
Even Rift Watcher, White Mane Lion. Is that another Abundant Growth? I can't quite see with the glare.
There's
Mask.
Ancestral Mask.
Yeah, I would take Mask.
Yeah, for sure. Sean Meyer is white immediately to Spencer's right.
Right.
So, but he's red-white.
Yeah, so the only cards that Sean's going to take that Spencer really wants for his deck are Pacifisms.
Right.
Right.
And,
So-
yeah. And Faith Betters. That's an uncommon, though.
Yeah. So he probably won't get any Pacifisms this pack, but he should get all the other cards he wants. There's a Winter Orb. And there's a Beetleback Chief. I'm curious what Sean would have taken out of this pack over
Is there
Winter
a
Orb
rare
and
miss-
Beetleback.
Oh,
No, Winter Orb's the rare.
huh.
Could be a
Interesting.
foil rare. Flinthoof Boar?
Flinthoof War's not good. He's not going to be playing any mountains. This pack's not good for Spencer at all.
I would maybe just take Blossoming Sands, right? I think. Is there not a Blossoming Sands?
Yeah, there is. He just looked at it.
Yeah, I would just.
Or even a shelter. Shelter's good here, right?
Yeah, he's taking Flinthoof Boar.
Which maybe he thinks he's going to splash.
Splash Red.
Right.
I actually like Benevolent Bodyguard a lot in the Enchantress deck too.
Right. There's another Blossoming Sands. A
Is
bunch
it
of.
Chain Lightning?
I don't know what Sean's taking over these red cards.
Interesting, you would take Flinthoof Boar over Blossoming Sands, and then take Blossoming Sands over Benevolent Bodyguard.
Right.
Yeah, but I think Benevolent Bodyguard's great in this kind of a deck, right? Because it lets you can play it early, so it doesn't soak up your mana on the turns you want to tap out for like Ancestral Mask, and it lets you protect your card versus cards like Annihilate, Mana War, cards like that.
It's a late future site. There's an elephant guy. It's a good elephant guide for Spencer. It's pretty late, about fourth pick.
Yeah. Yeah, and Benevolent Bodyguard's also great for his Mesa Enchantress that he took to protect that as well. And all his enchantments are green, right? So generally, giving your creature pro green won't make them fall off because you're generally never going to give your creature pro green. It's
Right,
always gonna
because
be
they don't have
pro-
anything to target it.
Yeah,
right?
it's always going to be blue or black.
That's Ballyhoof Guard or whatever. It's a 3/3 for 3 as long as you have, or 3/3 first strike.
Yep.
If you have another white creature.
Yeah, that pick's reasonable. Gives him just a decent creature.
What's interesting is the blue black stuff is dried up in this pack for some reason.
Is the person 4 seats to the right?
I don't know the other side of the table. There's Honor Guard's good as well.
Yeah. I would take Honor Guard here. I think Honor Guard's great.
Yeah, again, it's protecting your enchantments.
Yeah, and it's even a little bit better than Benevolent Bodyguard because it's an actual body and it's big and doesn't die to bolts.
Yeah, those guys were so absurd. Was it in Masks block?
Yeah, masks.
Yeah, those guys
The
were
flag
so
bears.
absurd in, talking about ancient history. So absurd in that format.
Well, there's an Extract from Darkness, which is a great blue-black card, and he gets another Honor Guard.
That's the 2 really great pickups for Spencer right
Yeah,
here.
I think that's actually really good and helped round out his deck a lot. The only problem with Spencer's deck, I think, is I don't think he has any pacifisms.
Right.
Is the only problem.
Well, he passed the pacifism and the faith fetish, the only one that he's seen over for an enchantress.
Which I think is a defendable pick. I think that's fine. There's one Curt Ape finally. What is that card? It's 2
I think it was an
foil.
enchantress.
Was it an actual enchantress?
Like the
Right, enchantress. And I'm curious how many abundant growths he has now, because I think
it's 4 at least.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. I would definitely just take the Man of War. That's very late. That is the indication of why is this still in the pack?
Oh, Spencer should have a sweet blue-black deck with Bizarra and Annihilate. And...
That's us. We love some removal and card advantage.
That's a really
factory.
late Twisted Abomination.
Well, there's a factory too.
He's going to take Commune with the Gods, it looks like.
Yeah, that's fair. I think that card's good in his deck. The factory's pretty late, though. I don't think Skylar would take it if he's 3 colors.
No. That's a late Gravedigger.
There's a Prismatic Lens and a Bodyguard. I like taking Bodyguard here.
Yeah. He's just going to hate something.
Well, was that a Wall of Fire?
Yeah, I think so.
There's another Abundant Growth.
Is that number 5?
So it looks like he might get paid off for his trying to go into the Enchantress deck.
Five colors was